I sat frozen at the long bridesmaids' table, the crystal glasses gleaming under the soft chandeliers of that upscale Manhattan steakhouse. 50 guests chatted and laughed around us. Family, friends, colleagues, all dressed in their finest for what should have been a joyful rehearsal dinner. My hands were clasped tightly in my lap to hide the shaking. Ethan Caldwell, my older sister Ava's fiancé, rose from the head table with that polished smile of his, tapping his knife against his champagne flute. The room quieted expectantly. This was the moment everything shattered. But to understand how we got here, I have to take you back. My name is Mia Thompson, 28 years old, and I've spent my life in the shadow of my perfect older sister,
Ava.
Ava is 4 years older, the kind of woman who seems to glide through existence without effort. She graduated summa cum laude from Columbia, landed a coveted position as a senior product strategist at one of New York's top tech firms by 26, and now at 32 she oversees multi-million-dollar campaigns with the kind of effortless confidence that turns heads in boardrooms.
Tall.
Slender, with sharp cheekbones and dark wavy hair that always looks salon fresh. Ava photographs like a model even in casual jeans.
Me?
I'm the shorter, Kavya one, the public school art teacher in Brooklyn who makes $42,000 a year shaping young minds with crayons and construction paper. 2 years ago, I poured my savings into launching an online subscription box for kids' art supplies, hand-picked materials, monthly project kits. The works. It lasted 8 months before the costs crushed it. Now I live in a cramped one-bedroom walk-up in Bushwick, scraping by while Ava owns a sleek 2-bedroom condo in Chelsea with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson. Don't misunderstand. I love Ava deeply. For years she was my fiercest defender. When middle school bullies teased me about my weight, Ava dismantled them with cutting precision that left them speechless. When I struggled through community college before transferring to a state school for my teaching degree, she stayed up late reviewing my papers. When my art box business collapsed, she held me through the tears and reminded me that every failure teaches resilience. Then she met Ethan Caldwell 18 months ago at a networking event. Ethan was a rising hedge fund manager, tall, broad-shouldered, with a kind of chiseled jaw and perfect teeth that scream old money privilege even though he came from modest roots in New Jersey. Expensive tailored suits, a Rolex that caught the light, just so, hair styled with precision, charming on the surface. Our parents adored him immediately. At that first family dinner in our childhood home upstate, Mom whispered to me, "Finally, Ava found someone who matches her level." The subtext stung. Someone exceptional deserved someone equally exceptional. Not the kind of guys I dated, struggling musicians or adjunct professors Mom dismissed as impractical. Ethan seemed polite at first. He complimented Mom's roast, asked Dad about his accounting firm retirement plans, praised Ava's latest promotion. But then his gaze landed on me during dessert. "So, Mia," he said with a smile that didn't warm his eyes, "Ava mentioned you're a teacher. That's sweet. They say those who can't do, teach, right?" No offense intended. The table fell silent for a beat. I felt heat rush to my cheeks. Ava laughed lightly. "Mia's incredible with kids.
Ethan.
She has real talent for nurturing creativity." Her tone stayed breezy, almost playful. Dad steered the conversation elsewhere. But the sting lingered for days. Over the following months, the jabs multiplied. At Ava's birthday dinner in a chic Soho restaurant, Ethan raised his glass. Ava is the complete package, brilliant, stunning, driven. Her parents saved all the premium ingredients for the firstborn. By the time Mia came along,
Well.
the pantry was a bit bare. Just teasing.
Mia.
Awkward chuckles rippled around the table. Ava smiled tightly and changed the subject. At their engagement party 6 months ago, during his toast, I'm gaining not only an amazing wife, but a new sister-in-law. Though the genetic lottery clearly smiled brighter on one sister.
He winked at me.
Ava squeezed his hand and laughed awkwardly, later pulling me aside when I confronted her privately.
Mia.
He's joking. That's his humor, roasting everyone. It shows affection. You're being too sensitive. Please.
For me?
Try to get along. Planning this wedding is stressful enough. I walked away feeling gut-punched. My protector was choosing her fiancé's comfort over my pain. The wedding planning became a gauntlet. As a bridesmaid, I attended every fitting, tasting, and meeting. Ethan always found fresh ammunition. At the dress fitting in a high-end boutique. Wow. Mia. That's generous fabric. Good thing Ava's parents are covering costs. Your gown probably uses double the material. The other bridesmaids, Ava's polished colleagues, laughed nervously. Ava, distracted by a work email, murmured, Ethan. Enough, but her voice carried amusement rather than rebuke. At the menu tasting, jokes about me sampling too many appetizers. During the rehearsal walkthrough, Mia will probably catch the bouquet, no competition since no one's desperate enough to fight for it. Each time Ava offered a weak stop, then pivoted. Private talks with her repeated the same script. You're taking it personally. Every couple has quirks. He's not insulting you, he's teasing. Don't create drama. I swallowed the hurt, smiled through gatherings, watched my bond with Ava fray thread by thread.
Now.
Back at the rehearsal dinner, Ethan's toast built toward its crescendo. He thanked his groomsmen, Ava's parents, made light jokes about marriage. Then his eyes swept the bridesmaids' table and locked on me. The room's energy shifted. And, of course, Ava's bridesmaids, the accomplished, brilliant women who've supported her through everything. I'm gaining an incredible new family. He paused, smile widening. And then there's my future sister-in-law,
Mia.
While Ava climbs the corporate ladder closing major deals, Mia teaches finger painting to 8-year-olds. While Ava owns prime Chelsea real estate, Mia enjoys her cozy walk-up rental in Brooklyn. While Ava builds a powerhouse career, Mia's art subscription venture folded quicker than a bad origami project. A few forced laughs from his side. Most guests sat in uneasy silence. Every family needs a cautionary tale, right? Someone to remind us what happens without drive. Mia's proudest achievement at 28 is simply reaching 28. Here's to Mia, the family disappointment who keeps the rest of us humble. Proof success isn't inherited. He raised his glass. Tears burned my eyes. I stood abruptly, chair scraping loudly, and headed for the exit, purse clutched tight. Ava's voice sliced through the stunned silence before I reached the door. Sit down, Mia. Her tone was ice, commanding, not pleading. I turned,
Confused.
She had risen, eyes fixed on Ethan, not me. Fury burned controlled in her expression, the look of a strategist who had just sprung her trap. I've been waiting for this moment, she said, voice carrying clearly across the room. Ethan blinked. Babe, what are you? Waiting for months, Ava continued. For you to drop the mask. To feel so safe in my supposed devotion that you'd reveal exactly who you are. And tonight you delivered perfectly. Thank you. Ethan's charm cracked into nervousness.
Ava.
I was joking. You know my humor. Joking, she repeated. Contempt dripping. That's what you always claim. After mocking Mia's weight at your firm's holiday party. After ridiculing her failed business at our engagement brunch. After every systematic dig over 18 months designed to make my sister feel small. She pulled out her phone. I documented everything.
Ethan.
Voice recordings from dinners. Texts. Witness statements from friends. Want to hear your greatest hits? I compiled them for tonight. Ethan paled. You've been recording me? Gathering evidence, Ava corrected. Because 6 months in, I saw the real you, the way you belittled wait staff, isolated me from friends, criticized coworkers behind their backs. But I was invested. Parents loved you. Proposal accepted. I wanted to believe you'd change, that the charming man I fell for existed. So I gave chances. Every insult to Mia. I waited for genuine remorse. None came. I added it to the file. I needed proof undeniable, to our families, friends, your boss sitting right there. Her voice cracked briefly. Tonight was the final test. In front of 50 people, including your managing director. You humiliated my sister publicly with total confidence I'd stay silent because you believed I was under your thumb. You thought I'd chosen you over her. Ava slipped off her engagement ring and placed it on the table. I can't choose you.
Ethan.
Not when you've been so cruel to one of the kindest people I know, my sister. You're a bully and manipulator hiding behind charm and suits. Insecure enough to tear others down. Now, everyone sees it. The wedding is canceled. I'll handle vendors. Deposits lost. But better than marrying you. Security, escort Mr. Caldwell out. 2 venue staff appeared. Ethan protested desperately as they guided him away.
Ava.
This is cold feet.
Mia.
Tell her I didn't mean it. Leave, I whispered.
Dad stood.
My daughters have asked you to go. The room buzzed in shock. Ava approached me, eyes softening to the sister I recognized. I'm so sorry.
Mia.
Why let me believe you'd abandon me? If you'd known my plan, you might have confronted him or skipped events, making him cautious. I needed him complacent. Therapy these past 4 months helped me recognize the emotional abuse. My therapist advised documentation and a public reveal for ironclad closure, no gaslighting. No overreacting claims. I couldn't risk another love bomb cycle convincing me he could change. She took my hands. I hated hurting you temporarily, but I couldn't lose you forever. He would have isolated me completely. The evening transformed. Guests toasted Ava's courage and my vindication instead of a wedding. Ava's maid of honor organized an impromptu freedom celebration with the open bar. People apologized for not speaking up sooner. Ava stayed close, recounting early red flags, controlling comments on her wardrobe framed as advice, subtle friend criticisms. Why didn't you leave sooner? I asked later. Embarrassment. Everyone loved him. I was the perfect one who couldn't admit such a mistake. He made me feel I was too sensitive. When he targeted me overtly, it shattered the illusion. She built the case meticulously, waiting for undeniable exposure. The week after was chaos. Ethan spun stories to colleagues claiming Ava had a breakdown, but too many witnesses had seen his cruelty. His boss called Ava to apologize, noting Ethan faced HR review. Ava handled cancellations, returns, social fallout while I took leave from school to support her. We talked deeply while sorting gifts, donating most to charity. I missed you, I confessed one afternoon. Even when you were there, it felt like Ethan stole my sister. He almost did, Ava admitted. The erosion was gradual. I didn't recognize myself anymore, the woman who stayed silent while her fiancé mocked family. 2 months later, at our favorite Italian spot from childhood in our upstate hometown, Ava looked nervous across the candlelit table. I have news. Corporate litigation defending big tech isn't fulfilling. I gave notice. I'm launching a practice focused on family law and supporting people leaving abusive relationships, legal aid, safety planning, emotional resources. That's incredible. There's more. I want you as partner. You handle client intake, emotional support, resource coordination. Your teaching empathy and business instincts are perfect. We'd complement perfectly, My legal expertise. Your human touch. I stared, overwhelmed. My school contract ended in June, 4 months to plan. Seed funding from recovered deposits. Office space already scouted. I consulted friends, my therapist. 3 weeks later, I said yes.
6 months on.
Thompson Sisters Advocacy opened in a modest Brooklyn office. Ava managed divorces, restraining orders,
Custody.
I handled intake interviews, safety planning, therapist referrals, court support. Not lucrative, but meaningful. Clients arrived broken, left empowered. You saved me, one woman said after finalizing her divorce. You saved yourself, I replied. We walked beside you. Late one evening, closing up, exhaustion mixed with quiet joy. I asked Ava if she regretted the canceled wedding. I regret wasted time and near loss of self. But the wedding? Never. That wasn't the life I wanted, just the one I thought I should want. This work matters. Doing it with you, my best friend, feels right. She smiled. You're the strongest person I know. Enduring months of pain believing it served my happiness. Then forgiving instantly. That's true strength. Walking to the subway together. I reflected on that rehearsal dinner a year prior, the lowest night that became liberating. It exposed truth. Freed us both. Taught that sometimes loved ones must hurt us briefly to save us permanently. Perfect isn't flawless success. It's bravery to walk away from wrong. Choosing family and integrity over comfort. Our bond emerged unbreakable. Clients' gratitude reinforced purpose daily. Ava's calculated strategy, documenting in a one-party consent state like New York, building public proof, protected her reputation and ensured clean break. Ethan attempted smears, but evidence and witnesses prevailed. In quiet moments we marveled at survival. Emotional abuse sneaks gradually. Victims need external validation as much as internal. Ava's plan ensured no doubt, no return. We didn't gain wealth but purpose. Freedom. Each other. The night that broke us open revealed our greatest strength, choosing right over easy, even at great cost. My sister taught me perfect means brave enough to expose truth and rebuild together.